And we are back here at the G-Shock Presents Formula Drift Japan Championship Round 4 at the OKUIBUKI Ski and Snowboard Park. I am Ryan Sage alongside Ryan Lantain and judges Andy Yen and Robbie Nishida. We're up here in the booth, and this is the beginning of the second run of qualifying. We've had 3 winners of 3 rounds of competition in 2019, and right now we've got 2 drivers tied for first place with the score of a 90, and those 2 drivers are 2 of the drivers that have taken those 2 of those 3 wins, and that is Andrew Gray and Wataru Masuyama, both with the 90. Relatively lower scores this time around, only 2 drivers getting into the 90s, and the 90s at that. So we will now move our way back up to the beginning of where we started just a couple of hours ago to wherever you guys are joining us from. It's 2:07 p.m. local time here at OKUIBUKI, and our first driver back up from break is going to be Kazuya Bai, Chunky Bai as he's known.
Do or die for him, Ryan.
Do or die for him, absolutely. It's an incomplete on that first run, and we've got a handful of those that are going to be ultra pressurized in run number 1.
The heat is on. We're getting word that perhaps Hubert Lee is going to have to bow out of competition due to the damage to his car.
Oh boy.
But it's not 100% confirmed yet, as he still has a little bit of time here. He's, what is he, about the 8th driver down the list?
Welcome wherever you're watching around the world. Looks like Luke Fink just joined us online. Seen a couple other pro drivers make their way into the chat room. We are live here on the English broadcast for Formula Drift Japan, round number 4. 1 round left to go. Okayama, just about a month away. And Chunky Bai will make his way out of the start line for run number 2. He's got an incomplete. Straight line approach, pulls off that first outside zone. That is where he incompleted last time. Now he's made it through. So far, so good. He's probably going to need a 75 or higher to make it into the top 32. And as he finishes up the run, unwinds it, he will get through the run scored. And now it's going to come down to what that score was as we take a second look at his run here. Straight line approach. Ryan, give us your analysis on this run.
He did look slightly conservative compared to what we saw in practice from him, and definitely what we saw on his first run, the way he threw the car in and unfortunately lost control and spun out. But looking at what he did here, nothing stands out really, but nothing's terrible either. It's very mid-pack, very safe run, and clearly trying to get a score on the board, which is a smart thing to do at this point in time, as he had an incomplete on the first one. So if he can just get a score that'll get him into competition tomorrow, I'm sure he'll be happy with that.
Well, it's a 79, and that may very well do it. We've seen scores stay right around between 65 and 72 for a good chunk of drivers, so that may do it for him and get him into the top 32. So his day is now over. He can wait and prepare, as now he will have 49 more drivers to go that he'll have to wait through, biting the fingernails along the way. Yukio Fausto in the S15 had a 57, so he's definitely going to need to improve on that. Car 555 leaves the start line. Here he goes. Another straight line approach. Little snap, big e-brake pull. He's going to be way on the inside of outside zone 1. He gets to that inside clip with pretty decent angle. Bit of chopping up the course here. Leaving outside zone 2. Slight inflection there with the front wheels as he leaves that third outside zone, hits that final inside clip. And looks like he's got some relative excitement there about that run. It'll definitely improve on the 57, but now the question is going to be, is it going to make it past the cutoff?
Like you said, Ryan, he wasn't as smooth as he could be throughout that run. It didn't look like he was settled and confident through it, but he did look like he's trying to be slightly safe during this run. You can see that he's not really throwing it to the wall, missed outside zone 2 considerably, and then right here he's heavy on the throttle, but he had a bobble on angle, and then coming through to the finish line. He was pretty good through the the latter half there, but the first half is really where he left some points on the board, especially in outside zone 1.
All right, so a 71 for Yukio Fausto. I don't know that that's going to do it. A 75 would be more of a comfortable score to make it into the top 32. as we see some of the next group of drivers heading down from the public pit into the hot pit. Yukiko Ishiguro actually had a very solid run number 1 and are one of 2 females in competition here. She's already got an 82, so she's trying to back that up, improve on that first run, but she's already in a good position right now. Here we go, run number 2. The Tri-Ace driver in the S15. Moving over to the other side of the course, quick snap, big angle, she's not gonna hold it. She's gonna pull out of it, and I think that's gonna be too much.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's an incomplete, Ryan.
So I see all 3 judges quickly moving to the pads, and that's gonna mean an incomplete, and it was confirmed by you, Ryan, so.
Should be pretty comfortable with an 82 though, getting into the top 32 for tomorrow.
So Ryan, looks like she just kind of went for broke here, tried to throw a big angle in the car, couldn't hold it, and looks like that's what was the cause of the incomplete.
Yeah, putting yourself in her position, you think, well, I got an 82, let's see if I can get something better. She threw it up aggressively there and just didn't have the momentum to carry her around with that amount of angle, and then made a couple of other errors there as well, but made it through the course without any damage, which is more than we can say about a few other drivers, so she's got to be pretty happy with her initial score, and it'll get her into the show for tomorrow.
All right, folks, so it is a confirmed incomplete there for Yukiko Ishiguro. Hiroki Vito is our next driver up. He's right on the bubble right now. He's got a 75 in run number 1, the Champion Racing S13 car 818, ready to rock. Leaving the line. Neon wheels up front, purple in the back, right at the edge of that first outside zone. A bit of a tight line, but just taps that inside clip. Transitions to outside zone 2, is right on the inside line. Wanted to be a little bit deeper there. Slight adjustment in the front wheels. Huge angle coming out of that final turn. And we'll get through that last inside clip right near that first hash mark. So a mid-pack run on run number 1. Trying to get better than a 75 on run number 2.
I think he might be able to do that here. It looks like he'll get a better score from me online anyway. Could have been deeper in zone 2. Looked like the car was pretty settled through the run. Right here, he did drop some angle, as many drivers are doing, going to that wall at outside zone 3. But like you said, big angle. Pretty good commitment throughout the course, it seems like. And see what that adds up to from all 3 judges.
All right, so scores starting to lock in now for Hiroki Vito.
This overhead view is going to give us a great idea of any of the slowdowns or any of the hiccups throughout the course. Seemed to slow down pretty smoothly there. Right here is where he pulled some angle out going to that wall, pours it on afterwards, and decently close to inside clip 2 as he heads through over the finish line.
Car 818 with the 75 on run number 1, and 80 on run number 2. So a good flight for him on run 1 and run 2, culminating in that score of an 80. Solid afternoon of drifting for him. But this next driver up held the number 1 qualification spot for 17 runs, and that is Ryohei Kitao. The Supermate RB Works C33 Laurel came out, laid down an 85 on run number 1, and it was not challenged for 17 runs. Let's see what he's got here. He's already sitting solid. Opposite side to the outside zone, bit deep here. He's gonna hit those cones aggressively, staying on throttle, slightly missing that inside clip. And he is going for broke, as you said here, Ryan, making a couple mistakes along the way, but really nothing to lose here. Trying to find another score. He'll have that 85 and this second run to utilize as a potential tiebreaker or as a way to advance further into the bracket. Let's take a look at his replay one more time.
So let's see the initiation. Nice flick. Does go a tire off there, so there'll be a couple of points deducted, as it was throughout the entire zone. Slightly off inside clip 1, little bit of a wall tap coming through outside zone number 2, but fills it nicely. Right here, not quite as deep and without the amount of angle you'd expect or hope for in that area, but pretty good over the finish line.
Taking a look at the overhead, you see the stream off to the right-hand side there. Going from one side of the course, the left side to the right side. Just getting a little bit deep there. The judges do allow for that tire to get right at the edge of the course, so hitting those cones, not necessarily a negative, but the wheel was a bit over that line. So as you can see, unwinds a little bit of angle there, and that is fairly typical for that section of the course. But as we said before, he's already got that 85. It held for a while. Let's see what he does here on run number 2.
Drum roll.
It's an 83 or an 86. An 80. It's an 80. So reverse of what happened there with Hiroki Vito. The 111 car will sit with the 85. He'll have an 80 as a tiebreaker. All right, so this is where the first run got super interesting. James Tang has an incomplete. He went into the wall. His teammate, Hubert Lee, went into the wall after him in the same place, but much more damage to the vehicle. We had a delay for a good 15 minutes or so as we had the intercooler pop, put water all over the course. It is do or die right now for James Tang. He initiates, carrying a lot of speed. This time he's going to make it out alive, but he's going to pull some angle out just on the inside of that inside clip. Really manipulates the car to get in that outside zone. The line is going to be a little bit wonky. There's going to be some deductions there, but he's got an incomplete. Just needs to get through this final turn, and now it's all going to come down to the score. It's going to be a scored run for him. Really flirting with disaster there on that first outside zone, but was able to pull it off. And Ryan, the two RSR 86s, a lot of pressure on them. James Tang in his first run looks like he got through it.
Yes, he did barely get through it. Made a lot of corrections. It's going to be hard on the fluidity side of things. It's going to be hard on the commitment side, the line, the angle. Everybody's going to be making some deductions there, but he made it through. He's going to get a score.
So the run will be scored, but we have to assume right now that it's going to be mid-70s or higher as the requirement here. And there are a lot of drivers in that position right now with still a few incompletes to go. You could see that James knew that he had to adjust and make that mistake, pulled the angle out of the car. Here he transitions, has big angle, but kind of a wonky line into that second outside zone. As he leaves that third outside zone, he drove almost straight for a second and had to really kind of lately come around that final inside clip. So it's a 73. That's going to be right there. That's going to be right there. It's going to depend on tiebreakers and the remaining incompletes that are in the field right now, which we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more.
Hubert Lee is still in the pit area, and clearly he's not at the line, so he is out of competition.
All right, and that means that car 66 is our next driver who's already out on the grid. He's got an 82. This is Shuichi Mano. The dark side, 666. Loses the bumper on that first outside zone. Hits the inside clip with good angle. Nice snap back around, lets it float out for a second, catches it into that second outside zone. Moving into the third, releases a little puff. It's going to have an impact in a moment, but now as he gets to that final inside clip, he goes through the finish line. And with an 82 on that first run, he's trying to build on run number 2. Car 666.
Good initiation here, knocks the bumper off on that first marker of outside zone 1, but great line through that zone. Tight on inside clip 1. Could have been deeper in outside zone number 2 there, right on the line on the inside. It's supposed to be on the line on the outside, so it'll be a deduction on score there for the line side, but pretty decent through to the finish.
All right, so we take a look at the overhead as scores starting to be logged here. All 3 judges putting in. One last look.
And you can see he did not go fully wide through 2. Pretty decent job there angle-wise through outside zone 3, but line was off slightly and then slightly off that inside clip as well. Oh, I love this view. Need this overhead view for everything all the time, constantly. It's phenomenal.
And as we wait for the opposite, the Sun driver, 777, following 666 will be up next. It's an 81 for Shuichi Mano. So very consistent this weekend. He had an 82 on his first run and 81 on his second. His day is over. He can go back. He can relax. He's going to be in competition. He made it into the top 32. Sunju Cho, incomplete, but aggressive run. So did not have the performance that he wanted in Fuji. Right now, he's looking down the barrel here at OKUIBUKI. Can he step up? Straight line burnout into initiation. Uh-oh. Almost gets a late initiation. The front end almost washes out. Trying to hold it together here. He's got an incomplete. Needs to get a score on the board to have something to go up against the remaining 35-plus drivers. On the throttle, big e-brake pull towards the finish line. Goes wide on that final inside clip. So it's going to be a scored run. He'll get himself out of that devastating situation of an incomplete. But he did make a, quite a flurry of mistakes. So the Nanking driver is still under pressure here, Ryan, and looked like he had a hard time committing to that initiation.
Yeah, the run was not great overall. It looked like he was hesitant through a lot of it, wasn't comfortable putting the car close to the wall in a lot of situations, and I believe he's the one that tapped the wall earlier coming over the bridge, right?
Yeah.
So maybe he's a little bit gun-shy now, not really wanting to go super wide out to the wall in certain areas where he should be going, and unfortunately that's going to hurt his score quite a bit.
So one final look overhead here.
Yeah, you can see he's way off outside zone number 2, not near that box at all. And then outside zone 3, also off there. And you can see here, like you said, a big handbrake pull right there, which is not what we're looking for. So the commitment side of things is going to be hurting a little bit there as well.
So a 65, so he goes from an incomplete to a 65. That is not going to cut it. And he will be out of competition here, unfortunately. All right, so car 963, Daichi Mizutani in the S15. He's going to have to improve by about 10 points at least, probably 15 to be safe. He's got just shy of a 70. Way on the inside, big angle, not going to happen. And wow, he almost hit the other wall as he moved off of the foam blocks, and now he's all 4 off. So looking a bit distressed out there and making a bit of a ruckus, tapping, well, more than tapping those big foam blocks right near the wall that leads to the 30-foot drop-off ravine. So here it is right here, right there. He's going to get saved by the blocks, nearly taps the wall on the other side, and then right here he goes all 4 off. So Ryan, a bunch of mistakes there leading to an incomplete.
Yeah, unfortunately, like you said, his 67 just might not get him into competition.
All right, well, as we move Mizutani off, we're going to be moving on very quickly here to our next driver, the Four-Man's Automotive S15 Sylvia. Of Matty Hill, a strong 84 in run number 1.
I was just tallying up the tire brands I've seen so far in competition today, Ryan, and I'm at 13 different tire brands.
Incredible.
Made a list here: Federal, Ecnova, Valino, Dunlop, Goodyear, Accelera, Goodride, Bridgestone, Nexen, 55X, GT Radial, Tri-Ace, and Nankang. There may be more, but that's what I've counted so far. It's an incredible amount of tire brands.
All right, Matty Hill, second run, trying to improve on that 84. Here he goes, big, oh! He's going to come out of it. He's still going to go for it here after that initiation, nearly getting into the wall. He's going to keep pushing here, but it's all really going to be predicated on whether or not the judges are going to score. It looks like they will.
Bit of a yard sale there on outside zone 1. Some parts, some foam blocks, outside markers, zone markers, kind of laying all over the place. So let's watch this replay. Ryan, I don't know how he got through that, but he did. He just, that whole never lift mentality. So he's definitely 2 wheels off there. That's going to be a deduction for him in that area. So that'll be an issue there. He hit the inside clip pretty aggressively. Missed outside zone 2. Not bad on outside zone 3, and then off of inside clip number 2 as well. So definitely leaving a lot of points on the board there. Let's watch the overhead if we have it as he's coming up the hill. There you go. He throws the car, goes way deep in that outside zone, brings some foam blocks, knocks the bumper off, drops a couple of tires there, hits inside clip. So it's going to be some deductions for him for sure on most of the criteria. Maybe not angle as much because he did hold a lot of angle through there somehow, managing to get through. Had that bobble right there, but yeah, that was pretty fortunate for him to be able to get through that.
B's out all the way for Matty Hill, but he's got a solid score of an 84. He'll log a second score here. It'll really probably only be good for a tiebreaker. And looks like all 3 scores are logged now. Let's see what the judges think. All right, here we go. Matthew Hill score on run number 2. 61. So, as we said, only good for a tiebreaker, but he still has that 84. So, strong performance him on that run number 1. He'll be done for the afternoon. He'll prepare for the top 32 for tomorrow. We'll see where that slots him in as we get through the remainder of the drivers here. Hudai Sobogiri, the one and only R31 Skyline up next. He's got an 81, so another driver sitting pretty solid now, but from what we've seen, we know that he can improve. Nice snap into initiation, bit on the inside line of outside zone 1, and he's gonna make it through. Leaves a few points on the table, but we've seen the judges award for doing well in the remainder of the course. Outside zone 2, a little bit on the inside as well. 3, and the final inside clip, not too shabby. So taking a look at this run again. Here's his approach coming into outside zone 1, Ryan, and just a little bit on the inside there.
Great initiation, but just not accurate. He's not putting the car where it needs to be to get the points that he's looking for here. He missed outside zone 1 by a pretty significant margin. Didn't do great on outside zone 2 either. He was outside of the box, or sorry, inside of the box. He wasn't putting the tire in the box itself, but quite a bit inside on that line, so not really filling what he should be filling. But great flick to initiation. If he can just move it over a couple of feet or a little bit later, he'll really be able to fill that outside zone 2.
So in 82, he's going to move up by 1 point, so he does succeed in improving from one run to run number 2. As they say in endurance training, he did a negative split.
Okay.
So that was good. All right, our next driver up, Akihiko Hiroshima, the Garage D friends on Good Ride. New setup for this round. 73, so pressure is on for him. Got the grocery cart. Let's see what he can deliver.
Nice one, man.
It's that outside zone pretty well, but he comes off a bit early. He's going to be tight on this inside clip. He's able to manage working his way around. Quick snap to outside zone 2, but he's on the inside line there. Pushing to outside zone 3, much better. And really good fluidity through that final inside clip. So I think probably he will better that 73. Let's take a look at it again in detail here, Ryan, and break down the run of car 67, Akihiko Hiroshima.
Yes, looking at his initiation, kind of stepped. It wasn't as smooth as it could have been. Did an okay job on outside zone 1. Could have dragged it out a little bit longer though. Right here, inside quite a bit on that outside zone 2. And it just looked like he hesitated a few times through the course. He wasn't on throttle as much as I'd like to see. He wasn't really flowing through the course. He'd slow down, speed back up, and then slow down again and speed back up. So this will give us a better view here as we watch from the overhead view that is so useful for us and that I can't say enough about. So right here, leaves the outside zone a little bit early. And then as he's coming to the clip, you can see as he transitions, kind of slows it down, doesn't quite get to the zone, and then back on throttle again. Just doesn't look like he's fully committed all the way through. Big lift there as well. So fluidity, commitment might get hurt a little bit by those things.
All right, so a score of a 73, trying to better that here, move into the top 32. Can he do it? He's got to get a couple points. Yes, he does, an 80. So seeing a good 7-point jump for him. And you can see the individual breakdown of the line angle and style judges there for car 67 of Akihiko Hiroshima. He is done for the day. And the next pressure driver is on the line. It is Junji Yamamoto, incomplete on run number 1. Here we go for run number 2. Car 7 has been given the green, and he is off. Straight line moves over to the edge of the course. Good snap there. Nice job on outside zone 1. Working those gears, the rotary, hitting that second outside zone. Pretty good job there as well. So it looks like he is doing much better than the incomplete the second time around. And it won't be a score for a tiebreaker. It'll be a score for moving into the top 32 if he can do it here. As we take a look one more time as he approaches this first outside zone, Ryan, it looks like he had that first one at least pretty dialed.
Yeah. Couple of little things. Hit inside clip 1. Did a good job there on outside zone 3, but was not really wide on outside zone number 3 there. You can see that he's not really getting out to the wall. But other than that, it looked like a pretty committed run. He was on throttle. He was aggressive. Sounded like he was really pushing pretty hard. So might do pretty well for him there on his qualifying score overall.
As we take a look at the overhead, you can see the tire laid down by the various drivers. And for Junji Yamamoto, a vast improvement over his first run. Just a couple little mistakes, but he's going to need enough of a score to get him into the top 32 without a tiebreaker, because he does have that incomplete. So hoping for an 80 or higher, and it's an 84. So he gives himself a good number plus a little bit of breathing room there. Congratulations to him. He is done for the day. Shinichi Yumura up next, 73. The JZX 100 chaser is at the line, ready to dance. Needs to improve. A little bit of a weight. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Got a little bit out of whack there and completely misses that first outside zone. Struggling here to put it together. And I think from that first outside zone forward, there's a big question mark there, and really slows up there before the finish line. And I think, let's take a look at the replay one more time, Ryan. Walk us through some of the thought process here on how to score this run.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of questions from the other guys. So looking at how slow he was and how straight he was right there, doesn't look like it's a great chaseable lead, let's call it. So potentially give that an incomplete, because he slowed down so significantly in an area where it's an important area of the track. That sets you up for the remainder of the course. Now, if somebody was behind him in that situation, trying to follow that, they'd have to slow down even more than he did, and then it'd be pretty messy. So let's watch the overhead here. This will give us our best view of what happened. So you can see there, pretty straight. I think that's an incomplete for number 41, unfortunately. He has a 73 in his first run. Ryan, you don't believe that that'll be a score to get him into competition, 73?
I don't think so. All right, so unfortunately for him, an incomplete on that first run. And a tough break there. So now we move on to our next driver, Hidehiko Sujita, the C33 Laurel. Also needs to improve. He's got a 67. Tons of momentum and speed up into that first outside zone. Not too shabby. Little bit of an adjustment with the front wheels, wide on that inside. Oh no, and he transitions too early. He's gonna miss the second outside zone. He's gonna spin or come to a stop. And what looked to be a very promising run at the beginning turns out to be an incomplete in the middle. So Ryan, he had that 67. He needed to better that. The straight line initiation looked like it paid off for him. He came off that zone a little bit early, but he was through that section of the course, and then unfortunately it just started to fall apart.
Yeah, right there. It's the unfortunate complete destruction of his run. 67 is definitely not going to get him into competition, so that'll be the end of him for this weekend. Interestingly enough, that's one of two C33 Laurels that we have competing this weekend. I believe the other one did make it into competition. Number 111. What kind of score did 111 get, Ryan? Are we going to have a C33 in competition? An 80 and an 85. Yes, I believe he'll be just fine.
All right, so moving on to our next driver, who does have some padding of his own on his first run. And unbelievable, car number 84 has an 84.
Oh, wow.
So he is just trying to build on that. This is Masukazu Hashi, Pieceworks, RDS Racing Velino S15. And here he goes. Second run of the day, final run of the day. Can he better the 84? Wide line. Whoa, big initiation. Front end wanted to pull out, and it finally does. That was the first driver we've seen go that wide. And he may have been trying to do something very dynamic there, but it will not pay off. It will result in an incomplete. So as much as we appreciate the pushing the pace, it will be an incomplete as a scored run.
That was a risky initiation, and it did not pay off. So you can see there he hit one of the two cones, which is right in front of a foam block, or just beyond the foam block. But just behind the foam block is a big chunk of concrete. And we were talking yesterday during practice about how some of the drivers are getting really close to that number 2 cone. And if they go, you know, a foot or two deeper than they should there, they're going to end up in a block of concrete. So it's a risky move to do what he just did. Clearly didn't pay off, but just got to position himself a little bit better. To have a practice session tomorrow. Hopefully during the practice session he can practice going through that little area again and make sure that he's got his line set and he knows where he's supposed to be.
Well, if you're just joining us, we have finished the first run of qualifying. We're about halfway through the second run of qualifying. We've got a tie for first place right now between Andrew Gray and Wataru Masuyama, score of a 90. A lot of fans also looking out for Matty Hill. He is very well into qualifying. He has an 84 on his first run, so he will certainly make it in. And we are now about halfway through, moving on to our next driver here, Yasuhiro Takaki. He has an incomplete as well. Pressure's on. The S13 moving relatively slowly through this second section of the course. And now he's almost banging off the rev limiter coming down the hill. He's going to center punch almost that last inside clip. So will be a scored run. But will it be enough to get him into the top 32? Let's take a look at the replay again. As he left the start line, he moved his way over to the left side, driver's left. Big angle there, but was a little bit on the inside, Ryan. And
yeah.
How are you scoring his line overall?
Definitely missed outside zone 1 by a large margin. Pretty good on inside clip 1. No points deducted there. Didn't do too bad in 2 and 3, and quite a bit off of, because he hit inside clip number 2, he'll have a couple point deduction there, unfortunately.
So a 79 for Yasuhiro Takaki. Could do it. Maybe.
Maybe. Well, Ryan, we haven't seen any of the 90, mid to high 90 scores that we've seen previously.
Could move the marker down a little bit.
We've only had 2 90s so far. Of course, we haven't made it all the way through qualifying yet, but it just looks like overall a lower score might be able to get you in at this specific round, but that is yet to be confirmed. This is Masayo Minoa up next.
She has got to improve here. She just barely almost made it into the top 32 in Fuji. Her husband, Shinji Minowa, alongside her. 71 on run number 1. Taking her JZX 100 into initiation. Inside line. They're trying to keep it fluid here through that first inside clip. Transitions to outside zone 2. She's a bit on the inside there as well. She's really going to have to push hard here if she wants to improve on a 71. Down to the final inside clip, hits that second hash mark, throttles through the finish line, unwinds it, and that'll be her run for run number 2. Now Ryan taking a look at it again here. From what we've seen with you guys, the runs that have been laid down, it's hard to really say that that was going to be into the 80s to really guarantee her position. But what do you think here of Masao's second run?
Yeah, she definitely missed a couple of key areas on the track. Outside zone number 2 was the major one that she missed. Outside zone number 1 as well. Didn't really fill those zones. She didn't get her tire into the box, didn't ride it all the way around the way she should have. So it's going to be some addictions for her there.
77, so she does improve. And who knows if the average starts moving its way down, because we have not seen the high 90s. Maybe she does have an outside chance, but certainly what we've been seeing is more in the 80s. Sorry.
I thought that bee was going for your Coca-Cola, right?
Yeah, there's a bee that was going to attack me. All right, Koji Kitagawa had a very odd initiation in his last run. It resulted in a 61 from him. So he's really going to have to improve here on run number 2.
Pretty aggressive looking car, Ryan. He's going to have to live up to it.
Big sweeping turns before the initiation. E-brake pull fills that first outside zone pretty decently. Inside clip a bit tight. He's going to take it out. He's going to take it along with him. And now he's going to run over it. It goes under the wheel. It's under the car now. So completely engulfing that inside clip through that last final turn. Will it be enough? He has a 61. Taking a look this time, he had a much more controlled initiation, but it was a lot of turns prior to it, using the entirety of the course. Gets on that e-brake, then he's off of it. And Ryan, what take us the rest of the way?
Yeah, like you said, he hit that inside clip and took it for a ride. Now, way off of outside zone 2 here, and what I was really looking at is the angle at outside zone 3. Really, really low angle at outside zone 3. Got fairly close to the wall, but I don't think the angle is going to be rewarded at all in that area, and needs to be a little bit more settled throughout the run to get that score that he's looking for, I think.
All right, so taking a look at the run one final time before we go to the judges here, and their overall number.
Yeah, that inside, the car just ate the inside clip.
For Koji Kitagawa.
71, jump by 10 points.
All right, so probably not going to do it. And now we are officially halfway through the second run. Tomoyuki Kitashiba, 73. He's got some work to do as well. Here's hoping for an 80 or better. The Sunoco Goodyear driver up next, waiting at the line. Here he goes. Leaving the start line. Slow roll initiation, big e-brake pull, pulls off that outside zone a bit early. Back on throttle here through that inside clip, better there. Somewhat of a fluid, smooth transition outside zone 2, which he fills pretty well. Pushing out, tries to get to that third outside zone. Good momentum coming down the hill and just through that final inside clip. Making it look good. I think that'll better a 73, but where is it gonna go? Into the 32. Ryan taking a look at it again.
Very accurate there. Just barely missing the 2 and the 1 cone. Did okay on outside zone 1. Could have been deeper into it longer. Outside zone 2, didn't do bad. He was in it, came out real quick, and then went back in. Right here, pretty tight to the wall, low angle again, but right here he slowed down considerably. There was a big handbrake pull coming to that inside clip, so that'll probably be a deduction for him. on the commitment side of things.
All right, so scores starting to come in now for Kitashiba. And it's a 79, so he's going to jump up 6 points. Could potentially do it. And that'll put us right now on the downside of the bracket. Daisuke Hara, 82 on run number 1. MJ Style, good ride driver, is off for run number 2. Pretty aggressive flick into the first outside zone. Comes off it a bit early, but he's back on throttle here. Inside clip, outside zone 2, right in the middle of that outside zone. Pushing to outside zone 3. Looks like he gets there. Big angle, leaving and hitting that final inside. Oh, and he unwinds it right before the finish line. Very unexpected there. Don't know if he was still carrying angle, but let's take a look at it one more time.
Could have been deeper in outside zone 1, Ryan. For the flick that he had, he should have been deeper in there. Looked pretty aggressive. He just wasn't able to get the car to run up that hill quite as deep as he was hoping into that zone. Decent job on inside clip 1. Tire was well inside of that first hash mark. Kept that left rear tire in the box all the way around outside zone 2, so no points lost there. Decent job on that outside zone as well. And then coming down the hill right here. Yeah. What do you think, guys? We're going to have the overhead view.
One guy's looking this way, the other guy's looking this way.
We got
this
the
guy's
overhead
saying,
view.
what do you want from me?
The overhead view will tell us everything we need to know about what happened there. So watching inside clip 1, pretty decent there. Outside zone 2, like I said, tire in the box all the way around. Got pretty close to outside zone number 3. And right here as he comes inside clip number 2. Yeah, he still had angle, but it was not great. So he'll get scored for this, but it will not be splendid, super high score for the last part of the course there, but at least he'll get a score.
So an 82 is what he has for his first run of competition. And you can't imagine that it's going to go higher than that for run 2 after a couple noticeable mistakes. And it does not. It's a 79. So his 82 will hold. His 79 will be the tiebreaker. Our next driver up is Manki Ito. Team Murano Tire, Goodyear Racing, JZX 100. A 79 on his first run. Initiates big angle. Stays in it through that first inside clip. The transition to outside zone 2 puts him on a shallower line. He's pushing into outside zone 3. He's going to be a little bit off there. Through this final inside clip, he pushes a bit wide there. So we have that 79. It looks like he started off pretty well. Let's take a look at it again here as he leaves the start line. Moves over to the left side of the course. He snaps it. He does a big e-brake pull and comes off a little bit early. And Ryan, how are you judging this run so far?
Yeah, he did miss some key points on the track, especially outside zone 3. You could see that he was quite a bit inside there. Didn't get the tire in the box as he should have, and was not even close to inside clip number 2 on the way down the hill. So definitely lost some line points, but in other areas didn't do so bad. He actually had the tire in the box in outside zone 1, so not terrible from him.
Taking a look on the overhead one more time.
Very similar score actually to his first line score, only 1 point higher, but you see there angle drops slightly as he goes to the outside zone 3 area and then pours it on as he goes by the inside clip, which he does miss but does cross the finish line with angle, so at least we don't have to worry about that.
So he will tick 1 point higher. What the heck?
Got another bug crawling up your
That
leg,
was
Ryan?
an ant. That was an ant this time.
Yeah, we do have a lot of wildlife that seems to harass us during these events.
All right, so here we go. Our one of 3 Team Droopy drivers, the A85 Torreno of Tomonori Tasaka. He's got a 74 on his first run, so he is going to improve. Big flick the other way, lots of angle, not going to do it. INC for him, incomplete on run number 2. It looks like he knew that he was right near the bubble, Ryan. He needed to push really hard.
Yeah.
Use this big momentum flick. A lot of angle, but could not drive out of it. All right, so for 333 Tomonori Tasaka, it will be an incomplete. He'll have to hold on to that 74. And it's a bit ambiguous about whether or not that's going to hold. Typically, our cutoffs have been right around the high 70s. So, but again, as we mentioned, no score higher than a 90. Currently, 2 drivers sitting tied for first place, Andrew Gray and Wataru Masuyama. And we will see them shortly here. It's 2:53 local time in Japan. Wherever you're watching from, we thank you. I know it's very early back home in the West Coast, or very late, depending on how you want to look at it. And our next driver up right now is car 888, Kenji Yamada. That's 15, warming up his tires because of that incomplete. That's why he's still in the burnout box. As we mentioned on run number 1, this is the only driver on Nexans here this weekend. Such a wide diversity of tire manufacturers in the sport, and a few new ones that we picked up here this weekend so far. So it's an 83 for Kenji Yamada. Let's see what he can do here in run number 2. Coming down, he initiates way on the inside here, but he's going to get back on throttle, make a run at it. Inside clip, nicely done with good angle. Outside zone 2, wall scrape, he's going to go a bit wide, 2 tires off. Takes out the marker at the end of the zone. And so a couple sizable mistakes playing a role here for him.
That may have been 3 off, Ryan. We're going to have to look at that replay to verify.
Let's take a look, Ryan, on this replay here of this second run. He was way on the inside here, but you guys are really looking to see if we got 3 tires off in outside zone 2.
Exactly. So we know the 2 rear tires are off. Just have to look at that front right. Front left, I mean, sorry. Yeah, 3+ tires is an incomplete. Yeah. So let's watch. Hopefully we get another replay from above, maybe. Just depends if the drone was in the right position, if it was recording at the time. There's the overhead view coming at us right now.
So Ryan, what you're looking for is whether or not you've got clear evidence of 3 tires off, which would be the edge of the line, the yellow orange painted line that you guys have designated the edge of the course, right?
Got it. That doesn't give us anything at all. So we'd have to see the other replay again. Robbie, could we get the other replay? Yeah. If we watch that other replay, at least the camera's on the right side, the left side, but it's the proper side, let's say, instead of the right side, to give us the right view that we need to see if that tire was over the line.
So the orange painting, obviously wearing off throughout competition, but what you guys are looking for is whether or not there's 3 off right here. And
we still need the other view. We got the wrong view on this one. It seems like that camera is a camera that is isolated, so we can get the whole run from it, even though the replay that we had on the live stream was not that view. So we're going to try it again and see if we can get the visual on this tire on the line. Is it on the line? Is it over the line? Is it inside the line? So they're going to transition to that camera, and then this is the camera that we're going to be looking at, as it definitely did go over the line, so that is an incomplete for him at that point in time. But pays to look at the replay to make sure we're making the right call, so that it's fair for everybody involved.
All right, so he's going to have to hang on to that 83, which should be good for him, but he will lose his tiebreaker because of the incomplete. And we will scurry right along to our next set of drivers here as they make their way out. And making it official there. Next driver up, Yuichi Yamagai, the Perfect Style S15 Sylvie, has a 79 on run number 1. He's ready to go with the line. Sun starting to move behind the mountains around here as we are up at the OKUIBUKI Ski and Snowboard Park. Yamagai for run number 2. Quick little snap. Decent job on outside zone 1. He stays on throttle pretty early, just moving that inside clip. Outside zone 2, he's right at the edge of the line. He's going to try to push out wide. He's going to come out a little bit short on outside zone 3. Final approach to that last inside clip. Nicely done. And he will not nicely unwind it after the finish line. He will smash the throttle. So a bit of excitement there for him, and probably for good reason. He had a 79 on run number 1, Ryan, and if he's paying attention to the scores, he knows he's probably going to want to get into the 80s just to solidify his run into the top 32. So give us your thoughts.
Yeah, there were some areas that he did pretty well, especially outside zone 1. Did hit that clip, so a couple point deduction there, and then just the slight deductions on the rest of the outside zones and inside clips. So I think his score should be pretty decent. There you go.
82. So he jumps up by 3 points, and he will have better his first run. So nicely done from him. Moving on to our next driver, Yusuke Kusaba, another driver with a 79. This is where we saw our batch of 79s and 77s in the first run. And knowing Yusuke, he's going to want to jump up to at least the mid-80s, given the competitive spirit that he has. We just saw Yuichi Yamagai do that, 79 to an 83. Let's see what Yusuke Kusaba can do here on run number 2. A lot of throttle up to initiation, right at the edge of outside zone 1. Wrapping through that inside clip. Good fluidity, nice transition, but he's on an inside line here. He's going to throw away outside zone 2. Outside zone 3 is also going to be a little bit off. And very tight on that final inside clip, line-wise. Not the smoothest arc through that final inside clip, but let's take a look at this again. This may have been a very similar run to run number 1. Seemed like he forewent that second outside zone, Ryan, but even on that first outside zone, he was just right at the edge there.
Yeah, he could have done a better job on both of those outside zones. You can see here, it didn't even get close to the box. The tire was way, way inside, so he's definitely not doing what he's supposed to through that area at all.
All right, so a 79 on run number 1 there for car number 938, Yusuke Kusaba, the Potenza driver. Waiting for his score here. And the final judge has input everything. And now we wait. 3, 2, 1. 79. He's going to mirror his scores. So it's not going to make a difference for him. He'll sit with that 79. All right, up next, the Mustang front end, the S15 rear end. Yoshiya Isaki, the Accelera Tires S15, has got a 77. Snaps it back around. Better, but floats it. The momentum suffers. Ooh, very close. Oh no, he's getting out of control now. After leaving that outside zone early, and on a very tight line, He center punches that that first inside clip, tries to make it back up, but a lot of the damage was done there. And I don't see that bettering the 77, Ryan, but you tell us.
No, I don't think it will. Right here, he goes wide, but just doesn't get back on throttle when he should. Goes tire off there, hits that inside clip, and then doesn't fulfill outside zone 2 very well. Outside zone 3, very low angle. Probably got pretty close to the wall there, but with low angle. And then inside clip number 2 was okay, but definitely leaving some points on the board there.
All right, so somewhat disappointing second run there for Yoshiya Isaki. Let's wait for these scores to come in. A 70, so he's going to drop down by about 7 points. It's not going to help him. And the next batch of cars going out to the hot grid. Yoshitaka Ogane, car number 77. It's got a 77.
He was doing very well in practice. Let's see if he can put it all together in the second qualifying run.
Ogane, big initiation right at the edge, but goes deeper as he moves along. Tight on that inside clip, right up against the wall in outside zone 2. Loses a little bit of that wing. Pretty aggressive here. And through that final section of turns, he completes his run. So probably could have done a little bit better on outside zone 1, but took a nice aggressive approach to outside zone 2. And how was the rest of the run, Ryan?
Outside zone 1 looked like he didn't quite get as deep as he should have been. Quite a bit off of that box, but got into it slightly at the very end. Did great on inside clip 1. Started off outside zone 2 very well, but left the box about midway through. And then low angle there as he went by inside or outside zone number 3. Finished off pretty strong though, but definitely can tighten it up, get a little bit wider in some areas, get some better scores.
All right, so Ogane has 77 in run number 1. Did have some areas where he looked really solid. Could be in the ballpark. For insurance purposes, an 80 or higher would be better, and he does that, an 81. So nice job there by Yoshitaka Ogane in the RX-7. Job well done. Car number 145, Takitosha Imamaeda in the S14. Waits at the line. He also has a 77. And he's off. Moves up, initiates pretty smooth there. Nice angle, pulls off a little bit early. Wide on that inside clip, but nice snap. Big angle there as he gets into outside zone 2. Looks like he was gonna loop it there, but he holds it together, pulls some angle out as he, oh no, more angle again. And driving at the edge of control there is Imamaeda. So Ryan, he's got a 77. We just saw an 81 from Ogane. Comparing them side by side, your impression?
Better through outside zone 1, did a good job there. Really went wide from outside zone 1 to inside clip 1, and it made him off of that. He did get his tire in the box there for outside zone 2, right on the edge, kind of came out and went back in again. And then, like you said, big angle over the finish line, but wasn't really stalling up, wasn't really losing his momentum or anything like that. So overall, didn't look like a bad run for the commitment and fluidity side of things anyway.
All right, so we are seeing a few drivers improve on their first run scores, and on the second run score he's actually going to be exactly the same as his first, a 77. So he's going to stay right where he is right now. Imamaeda will be done for the day, and we'll move right along to Tadahiro Fukada, the Tanabe SSR Team Dunlop driver, the JZX 100 Mark II, 81 points on his first run.
Ryan, just to give you a warning, the drone is overheating, so we will not have it for this run.
Okay. Here he goes. Fukada draws a line about midway through that first outside zone. He's coming in pretty tight here, but he's just going to squeak through that inside clip. Let's see where he ends up on that outside zone. Midline there through outside zone 2. Stays in the box. Same for 3. Inside clip. Pretty good there. So some areas for him that looked like he may have improved, and a couple little mistakes there. Let's take a look at this again, Ryan. And outside zone 1, just off a little bit early, but still able to get through that inside clip.
Look at how precise he is there. Just touches it. So no deduction there because it was just a tap. Didn't move it out of its base square that we have on the ground. And the run looked pretty fluid, looked pretty good overall. We're not going to get that overhead shot, but I don't think we need it in this case. It looks like it was a pretty smooth run.
All right, so Fukada making his way back to the grid. And he will draw a 78, so it's not going to help him. He had an 81 on run number 1. Tatsuya Kume, MCR Factory on Valino's S14 85. And this was the driver that we mentioned 17 drivers ago that we didn't see an 85 until. So that was Ryo Kitao, had the 85 that held until this driver here was able to match him in run number 1. Kume blasting, aggressive flick there. Watch the line. He pushes out wide. Hits that inside clip. Whoa, nice snap back around, catches it. And he is trying to better that 85. He's gonna have to push hard here. Keep that angle up, coming through that final section, just a bit wide on that last inside clip. And some really aggressive transitions, especially from inside clip 1 to outside zone 2. And he had an 85 on run number 1, Ryan, as you, looks like you're jotting down your scores for him online.
Yep.
Where did you see some, if any, deductions?
A little bit on zone 1. That was great on inside clip 2. Not bad at all on outside zone 2. And then, or sorry, inside clip 1, outside zone 2. Right here through outside zone 3, did a great job as well. And big angle, big commitment, big throttle through to the finish line. So, let's see, what was the score? You said 85? No, does not better it.
8-0 and 80, so a good backup score. It's not going to go up to the 85, but as we mentioned, we will have a nice tiebreaker if needed. And here he is, Manabu Fujinaka. Now, he had a 74 in his first run, but it was a very aggressive run that, if cleaned up, looks like it could be certainly a high-scoring run. So let's get to it now as Fujinaka gets ready for run number 2. Nice, smooth initiation. Fills that first outside zone. Looking good so far. Tight on that inside clip. Good flick back around, just at the edge of outside zone 2. Leaves a little bit on the table there. Comes up a little bit short on outside zone 3, but good momentum through that final inside clip. But he's going to go a bit wide there. So Ryan taking a look at the second run. He had that 74. He may have cleaned up some of the mistakes, but he still had a couple that were noticeable, like outside zone 2 here.
Yeah, he definitely had a higher score on line from me overall from his first run, and I think he did a great job in outside zone 1. Could have been slightly deeper in outside zone 2, but he was right on that inside line, so not terrible there. But overall, I think that was a pretty decent run.
And in 86, he's going to pick it up there by 12 points, Ryan. So the style judge in particular gave him a very high score. Angle also coming in with just 4 points of deduction, and also line. So that is a big improvement for him. And as we mentioned, he was looking good in his run number 1, but made some mistakes that caused him to get a 74. Now he backs it up. He's got an 86, so he's going to be up there top 5 or 6 drivers so far. Kazuki Hayashi, our next droopy driver. This time in the 86. Oh, they made an adjustment there? Went from an 86 to an 85? Is that what happened?
Oh, maybe. Angle had an adjustment.
All right, so it was an 85. So still good. Still pretty good. Kazuki Hayashi, here we go. Second run, 81 for him on the first. Throws it in. Just right at the edge there of outside zone 1. Nice job on inside clip 1. Pretty good line on outside zone 2. Starting to pick it up. Uh-oh. He has to downshift. He was losing momentum there, and he was looking good up until that point. Really filled that second outside zone and was looking pretty smooth through that first inside clip. Could have improved on the first outside zone, but Ryan, it was really that punctuation and the momentum leaving outside zone 2 before he gets to outside zone 3 that seemed the most apparent.
Yeah, he lost some angle through outside zone 3. So watch here as the car fills outside zone 2. He's in the box, right where he should be, looking great. Loses a little momentum there, and then right there, loses angle, and then has to get back on throttle. Finishes pretty strong, but definitely had some errors in the middle there.
Taking a second look here as the 81 is his score for run number 1.
He was looking really strong up until the end of this zone. You know, he had a slowdown there, which is, you know, we're saying there are areas where you're definitely going to have to slow down a little bit. That was, I think, acceptable, but after that, probably not acceptable in terms of the perfect scoring, right? He's going to have some deductions for that.
Bit abrupt.
Yes.
77, so he's not going to better his second score, or excuse me, his first score, but he should be pretty good. All right, so moving on to our next driver here with the score of 75, Buy Now Japan on Dunlop's S14 of Tomohiro Murayama. Waiting at the line with the 75. And he's off. Initiates, line looking pretty good so far. Comes off a little bit early on outside zone 1, inside clip, no problems there. Nice angle and fills outside zone 2. Little bit short on outside zone 3. Has to grab some e-brake to get back online through that inside clip. But quite possible he'll better that 75. As we take a look at this one more time here. As he leaves the line, looks like he focuses a lot of his attention on making sure that he sets up that first outside zone as best he can. You can see he stays in it. He comes off a little bit early, but he's still able to manage a nice line on that inside clip, Ryan.
Yeah, you can see he just dropped out of outside zone 2 briefly, but then gets back in it again, so really good job there. The angle, again, reducing it outside zone 2 a bit, but back on throttle and finishing strong through the finish line. So score, like you said, originally was a 75. I think it'll be higher than that. And there it is, 79.
79, so he's going to move up by 4 points. And he will be done for the day.
Hopefully the drivers are looking at their scores and looking where the deductions were so that they can better that during practice tomorrow. They can work on the areas that they're losing points and try to improve their driving so that when they go into competition later tomorrow, they'll be in a position where they can lay down some really good lead laps, and we'll have some strong tandem battles.
All right, next driver up is Kazuya Matsukawa. This is the other 85. Straight line approach into that first outside zone. Stays in it pretty long. Good angle. Smooth line. Looking like he's trying to tear it up here. A little bit of a hesitation on that second outside zone, but now ripping. Oh, the front end washes out. He was looking great up until that point. He had a quick hesitation on outside zone 2. And he had that reduction in angle right at outside zone 3, Ryan. So
Are
you guys going to be watching that for any incompleteness?
I think it was fine. It looked like
that's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. He had a reduction in angle there. It just looked like the car is pretty grippy, as we were talking about earlier. And just right through here, you can see that he's on throttle, and it just starts to straighten up. But he never really goes fully straight, and then he gets back to angle without any kind of aids. You know, he didn't grab a handbrake. He didn't do anything crazy there to get it back to angle. So it's just flicking it a little bit more, you know, more throttle, whatever it was that got him back to angle. And it's a mistake, but it's not an incomplete.
All right, so he had that 82. Looks like those mistakes will probably force the score to go lower than that. But let's make it official here. As you see some scores starting to come in now. Just outside the top 10 drivers, we've got one more, and he's our next driver up, Junior Arena, before we enter into the top 10. 3:17 here local time. In Japan, it's a 69, so he's going to drop down quite a bit. He looked like he had some great things in store for us, but the 82 on run number 1 is going to be what's going to have to hold. Now, Junior Arena, our next driver up, car 17, the Good Ride driver, was holding the number 1 spot for a while. He scored an 89 on his first run, only to be bested by Andrew Gray. Here he goes, run number 2, very aggressive flick, massive angle, but he's gonna blow outside zone 1. He was going for it there. Right up against the wall in outside zone 2, fills that zone. So still might make something out of it, really cooking the tires here, coming down from outside zone 3 into that final inside clip. But Ryan, he was really trying to throw big angle with a lot of speed in that first outside zone. He missed it.
Yeah.
But knowing he had the 89, why not?
I guess so. Really missed it by a lot. That was not accurate at all. He started mid-track and flicked it, but he should have been quite a bit over the other way to for that flick to get him to where he wanted to be. Fortunately, that's going to be a big deduction on line, and it's probably going to be a big deduction on angle, potentially because of the having to pull angle out there as well. So I don't think that's going to be a great score.
What happened? Why you want to deduct?
Why you want to make mistake?
Oh, wow. All right, 78. So it's an 89 for him on his first run. That'll hold right now for at least third place. But the 78 is going to have to be his backup score. Starting to cool down here. It's been pretty warm throughout the day. Starting to feel a breeze come in as the sun sets. And we are now into the top 10 drivers. It's Kanta Yanaguira in the S13, the Top Tool Racing Valino driver is on the line. He's got an 81 in run number 1. Snaps it right at the edge of outside zone 1. Okay, much better this time around. The young gun has brought it out blazing.
Nice.
And this is looking good. Tire right at the edge of outside zone 2. Little bit on the inside of outside zone 3. Very smoky run, but finishing up. And that is going to be up there. That was aggressive, precise, very little mistakes. And Ryan, it's hard for me to see from here when I'm looking on outside zone 3, but how do you think he executed that section of the course?
Yeah, that's a tough part for us to tell, but we do have cameras to help us out, thankfully. So let's watch the replay. Great job in outside zone 1. Great job in inside clip 1. Also a great job in outside zone 2. Look at how, or sorry, 3 there, as he's going nice and wide, and he just looked so settled. The car he looked confident. He was on throttle. He was committed. It was a really great run.
All right, so it's an 81 on run number 1. I think there's really no question that it's going to go higher than that. I think what we're, wow, a 96 blows everybody out of the water. And I was expecting something really high. And a 96 is what it ends up being.
That's pretty big, Ryan.
Only 4 points off of perfection. And you have to imagine that given maybe something that we haven't seen for quite some time, that could very well be our number 1 qualification. We know that Masuyama and Andrew Gray are currently tied at 90, that they have those mid-90s in him as well, but that was a tremendous run, and it is being celebrated right now with a 96.
Really growing into that 2J of his, isn't he?
No question. Kazuhiro Kubo, our next driver up, he's got an 82. Couple flicks back around, and the Manji almost goes too wide there, but stays tight on that inside clip, just pushing it. Gets into that zone a little bit late, but gets deep. Outside zone 3. And just nudges that final inside clip there, as he's looking to better that 82.
We are going to have a talk with him about his initiation. It's supposed to be a 2-move max. That's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, maybe too many
4.
moves. Too many moves, but did do outside zone 1 pretty well. Just bumped that inside clip out of its box, so that'll be a deduction there. Like you said, got into outside zone 2 a little bit late. Ran through here, good throttle control, really trying to be aggressive. Little handbrake pull there, but nothing too serious.
So an 82 is what he's got so far. And a couple little mistakes there for Kubo. As he looks to better run number 2.
I knocked off a few points myself.
It's going to stay right at the same score. So consistency for him, but no advancement. And still running off of a big high there from Yanaguida. We move on to Benjamin Chiam, the super driver. Team Kazama, the power vehicles, also on Valino's, a 76 on his first run. Now, he just couldn't really get the line that you were asking for, Ryan, on run number 1. That cost him. Run number 2 here. Let's see what he can make up. Here we go. 1, 2, and there's 3 moves from him as well. So you're going to talk to a lot of people.
Yeah, going to have some conversations.
Getting into that second outside zone. Kind of the same issues here. He's a little bit deeper into that. Stayed in there a little bit longer. But still struggling with probably a little bit too much grip in the car. It seemed like maybe some of the adjustments they made between the runs helped a little bit, Ryan, but he's so fast. He's just not really moving the car around as fluidly and as accurately as I imagine you would like.
Got that right, Ryan. Needs to be able to put his car where he wants it a little bit better. You can tell that he's trying to get it out to where he needs to be, but it's just, it looks very difficult to drive. It looks difficult to be precise unless he's smoking the tires like that. If he's off throttle at all, it looks like it's trying to grip up on him. And it doesn't look very easy to drive. So maybe some setup changes for tomorrow would give him a bit of an easier drive.
Well, even with the aforementioned mistakes, he's still going to hold on to a 79, which is a 3 points above his first run. So Chiam is still going to be close to the cutoff, but I think because we have not seen a plethora of 90s, he might be okay. All right, here was a driver we expected a lot more out of run number 1, and he also struggled. Looked like the car looked really big around the course. And that is Kazuya Iizuka, the Helios Racing Audi A5 wide body, 69 on run number 1. Still on the inside of outside zone 1. Better on inside clip. Okay, now he's into outside zone 2, puts a tire in.
Oof.
Still not looking as fluid as we would like. And he is getting really close here. Are we going to see him into the top 32? Right now, it's questionable.
Car does not look easy to drive. Kind of along the same lines as Benjamin Chiam. It looks like just going for speed for some reason. We don't judge speed. I don't know why some of these drivers are doing this. It's unnecessary to go Mach 12 through the course. You just need to fill the zones and maintain momentum. You can see there he stalled up big time after outside zone number 2. Getting to outside zone 3, really had to struggle and reach out. And yeah, unfortunate. Yeah, he's got a lot of deductions online. Lower score than his first run.
Well, it would be a travesty if he did not make it into competition. But with the 69, he's going to have to at least have a mid-70s, maybe high 70s for a fighting chance. And it's a 70. So unless, I mean, we could be completely wrong with the math just because I'm doing this manually, but that seems like it's going to be outside the top 32.
It's unfortunate, especially after doing so well previous rounds.
And a driver that has done so well, currently sitting 6th in points right now, is Hayato Miyoshi. The good ride driver in the R34 Skyline, the only one in competition here. Known for the big flicks, has got an 84. 2, 3. So yeah, you guys gonna have some talking. Outside zone 1, he just hits that entrance cone. Massive angle, but oh no! Not gonna be able to pull it off.
That's not chaseable, is it? Those are some pretty sloppy mistakes that he made there. I believe that's an incomplete. That would fall under a chaseable lead run. Multiple mistakes that cause the car to slow in some erratic manner while being offline and over-rotating. Seems like he, combined all those mistakes together. That is not what we're looking for from a lead driver. So in a tandem situation, we do have to adhere to the same criteria in qualifying. And yeah, you can see there he's very sloppy. Oh, he knocked the taillight out. That's terrible. I'm sure some people on the internet will not be happy watching that sad taillight hanging out there, unfortunately.
Sad face? You want me to draw a sad face?
Well, yeah, just damaging damaging that R34. Everybody holds them in such high regard, and then that one just got bumped into the wall. And I'm sure he'll fix it, but still sucks to see.
Well, have no fear. He has an 84, so he is going to be fine, but he will have an incomplete on a second run. Shinji Minowa, also fine, 86. The Heyman JZX90 Mark II, up next. And he's off. Quickly coming up, wow, big initiation, but this time precise.
Beautiful.
Into that outside zone. He had the tire at the edge, which is fine if you hit those cones. Big angle to outside zone 2. Pulling this together pretty well. Top scores a 96. Looking on board is Kanta Yanaguida. I think he can still feel confident after that, but that was a tremendous run by Shinji Minowa, who's stepping up from his 86. Let's take a look at this in detail here on run number 2, Ryan.
Great initiation. Look at the rate to angle. Look at the precision as well. Right on the line all the way through outside zone 1 pretty much. Just touches that inside clip. Pretty good job here. Did dip out of the outside zone 2 area a little bit prematurely, so point knocked off there. And right by inside clip number 2 at the finish, point knocked off there as well. So overall, his line score is a little bit lower than his first one, because his first one was almost perfect for me, but he ends up with, I think, a pretty good score out of this nonetheless.
Looking to go above that 86. We're now into the top 5 drivers, of which Shinji is a part of. And this will set the stage for tomorrow. 2 segments, 87, so he's going to get 1 point on top of the 86. So Shinji continuing to show his consistency as a top-level driver. An 86 and an 87 respectively. He'll be done for the day. And it's going to be Katsura Ueo. Ueo did a full-length straight burnout on run number 1.
Wouldn't expect any less from him.
And it looks like he's kind of going to do it again. A little bit less this time, but still. Massive flick early. Oh, no. He's got a... oh, man. He's going crazy. Big flick back around. Struggling a little bit from line, but a very smoky run here. He is going to be a disaster to follow and chase tomorrow in head-to-heads, just by the looks of it. He's already into the top 32 with an 82. And he was really pushing it there.
What a wild man.
So Ryan, I mean, line-wise, he had a really early flick. I mean, well before that third standing cone. He did pretty good job on that outside zone, but he angled up a little bit. He had to pull some out.
Yeah, you're right.
What's your take there?
Yeah, no, he was not as precise as you'd like him to be, but that's part of, I think, what comes with the driving style that he's always putting down. He's very aggressive, full throttle everywhere. You can tell by the smoke. The smoke still hasn't cleared. So that type of driving is very difficult to be precise with repeatedly.
All right, so he is done for the day. The Volino driver, ZSS Racing S15 Sylvia of Katsuhiro Ueo, always running that 1.5. His scores a 79. He will not better his second run. 82 is what he has to sit with. But nonetheless, a wild man. Top 3 drivers left. Probably the only 3 drivers that have even an outside shot at taking down Kanta Yanaguira with the 96. Probably one of the more likely drivers of the 3. Masuyama and this driver, Andrew Gray. Nice into outside zone 1, very fluid, fills it. Oh no, center punches that inside clip. Just that alone right there will probably keep him out of the number 1 qualification. Nearly taps the wall there in outside zone 3. A very aggressive and crazy run, but also hits that final inside clip. So line-wise, probably not going to cut it. Yanaguira made very minimal and not noticeable mistakes. Gray, very aggressive and solid, but made some mistakes that were more noticeable, like this right here.
Yes. Yeah, you can tell he's trying to be more aggressive on his run. I'm sure his spotter told him, oh, the top scoring guys are very aggressive. They're on throttle a lot. They're really pushing hard through the course. You need to be more aggressive as opposed to being a little bit more composed as he usually is. And you can tell he's pushing hard. And like I said earlier, when you're pushing this hard, it's hard to be as precise as you maybe usually are.
So in 85, he's going to have to settle with the 90 for run number 1. And that was probably expected. So Gray will go back. He will finish up, prepare for tomorrow. We've got 2 segments of competition for those tuning in tomorrow on the weekend. Top 32 and top 16. The winner of last round at Fuji Speedway, this gentleman here, car number 8, Koichi Yamashita. The JZX 100 Mark II has an 88 on run number 1. Opposite side of the track to the outside zone 1. Does a good job there. He's also going to take out that inside clip. So if you're counting, it looks like so far the young gun of Yanaguira is in a good position to hold, and it will come down to 1 remaining driver because everybody is in a competition right now. We're just fighting for first place. Yamashita takes off, moves over to the edge of the course there, and then initiates right at the last standing cone. So really utilizing all of the course here, Ryan, but he still takes out that inside clip just a little bit.
And it seems like another driver who maybe had a spotter tell them, you need to be more aggressive. You need to drive with more throttle, more aggression through the course, and doing so has led him to be a little bit less precise than he has been in the past. So difficult to do that, again, repeatedly and consistently.
In 80, so he's also going to move down. Not going to get it done there. He will hold with an 88 for his first run. That'll be his highest score. All right, last and final opportunity to take out Kanta Yanaguira is the current leader in the series right now and arguably the best qualifying driver, the most consistent qualifying driver in Formula Drift Japan. That is 530 Wataru Masuyama. We've talked about him a lot this year because he's been in a lot of battles, and that's an area where he has improved vastly. Here he goes, final run of the afternoon. Big angle from Masuyama. Oh! Hello. Not what I expected, but he was going for it there. It'll be an incomplete on... Oh, you gotta love it. Okay, we're gonna have some fun tomorrow.
He went for it.
Well, Brian, now that we know you don't have to write down any numbers, tell us what happened here.
Just too aggressive again. Just threw it in, trying to be, he did really great on that outside zone 1, just overshot it and got into those foam blocks. It's simple overdriving of the situation, of the zone. Could have been a lot worse. Luckily, he just rode along those foam barriers and was able to drive out of it. So no damage. He's in the show with a 90, no problem there. And, no worse for wear in that situation.
Well,
could have been way worse, though.
After a very disappointing Fuji Speedway round, our #1 qualifier by a large margin, Kanta Yanaguida, can celebrate now because he's going to have the 32nd place qualifier in the top 32 tomorrow. There he is in the hot grid as Masuyama goes back. It was a very interesting qualifying, Ryan. A lot of good takeaways and a lot of things to think about for tomorrow. And so give us some of your thoughts as we wrap up today's competition.
It was, like you say, very interesting. Just looking at some of the drivers, the way they're trying to match what Kanta Yanaguida was able to do in his qualifying run. He was able to be aggressive while still being accurate. And we've seen, 5, 6 other drivers after him say, I'm going to go do that too. And they were able to be aggressive, but they were not able to be accurate. And that's what's going to set, I think, Kanta apart tomorrow. If he can be consistent with his run that he did in qualifying, tomorrow in competition, he's going to be very hard to beat. And we're going to have to see if some other drivers can step up and start repeating that type of drive on their own and try to match him throughout the runs tomorrow in tandem battle.
All right, well, thank you for everybody watching. We had a nice session of qualifying today, coming in at 3 hours and 37 minutes with 50-plus drivers here at the G-Shock Presents Formula Drift Japan Championship. This is round 4 at the OKUIBUKI Ski and Snowboard Park. Tomorrow, we will line up our top 32 drivers, heralded by Kanta Yanaguida, a 96 coming in at first place. All of the times are listed on the Formula Drift USA and Japan Instagram, Facebook page. Everywhere you find our information, we'll list the air times tomorrow, no matter where you are in the world. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
実証雨に強いタイヤ。横浜は濡れた路面であなたの想像以上に止まる。止まる。止まる。日本最高グレードのウェット性能 A をあなたの車に。雨に強いタイヤといえば横浜。
革新のカーボンベゼル。Bluetooth 搭載 G-SHOCK カシオ。The brightness called brilliant. Valendy.
Quality of Japanese craftsmanship. Grid.
What's up, guys? It's Frederick Ospo, and I use RSR suspension on all my drift cars. I love RSR. Iyo RSR Ichiban.
Kenda。伝統と革新、小倉クラッチのテクノロジーを凝縮、チャンピオンを取るためのクラッチ、小倉レーシングクラッチ ORC。モティ
brightness called brilliant, blinding and vivid. Valenti.
実証雨に強いタイヤ。横浜は濡れた路面であなたの想像以上に止まる、止まる、止まる。日本最高グレードのウェット性能 A をあなたの車に。雨に強いタイヤといえば
横浜。革新のカーボンベゼル。Bluetooth 搭載 G-SHOCK カシオ。The brightness called brilliant. Valenti.
クオリティオブジャパニーズクラフトマンシップグリッド。
What's up, guys? It's Frederick Ospo, and I use RSR suspension on all my drift cars. I love RSR. Iyo RSR Ichiban.
Contender。
伝統と革新、小倉クラッチのテクノロジーを凝縮、チャンピオンを取るためのクラッチ、小倉レーシングクラッチ ORC。
モティ
The brightness called brilliant, blinding and vivid. Valenti.